Champagne, tequila, basmati rice, what do all these things have in common? Geographical indications. Have you ever wondered to yourself, what exactly are geographical indications? What benefits do they give to anyone? Is there any protection to agricultural products here in Africa? That is exactly what I'm here to discuss. A critical analysis of agricultural products and the use of geographical indications in Africa, hence the African t-shirt. This video will be divided in 4 parts. Firstly, I'll discuss what exactly are agricultural products as well as geographical indications, the international framework that is available for geographical indications, the problems that have arisen in Africa due to the protection of geographical indications, as well as looking at particularly 2 countries, Ethiopia and South Africa. I hope you enjoy. Here we go. Article 22 of TRIPS defines what a geographical indication is. It states that an indication which identifies a good as originating in the territory or a region or locality in that territory where a given quality, reputation, or other characteristics of the good is essentially attributable to the geographical origin. A simpler definition of what a geographical indication is simply a sign by which a product is identifying as having its origin in a particular territory. An example that could be used with that definition is of rooibos. We know that rooibos originates in a particular area in Africa, which is South Africa, in the Western Cape. We know that it grows in that particular area, and there's no other place where it grows in Africa or in the world. Hence, it qualifies in the geographical indications system. Another example is of tequila. We know that the ingredients or the agricultural products that result in tequila emanate from Mexico, and hence it could fall under geographical indication system. The same could be said of champagne in France. Having understood what geographical indications are, there's often a misconception or a misunderstanding as to the difference between geographical indications as well as trademarks. Trademarks are defined as a sign which could be used in the course of business which is owned by a particular entity or an individual. The difference, therefore, is that 1, with a geographical indication, we know that it is owned by a particular group or people in that community that use that service. It's not owned by a particular individual, whereas a trademark is owned by an entity or one person. An example is of Apple, which is owned by a particular person, let's say in America, and their geographical indication of rooibos is owned collectively by the community or the people there who live there. Another difference is the fact that a geographical indication is only given or is associated itself with a particular region, as given before, for example, the Western Cape area, because of its origin or because of the fact that it grows only in the Western Cape area. Whereas a trademark can be used in commerce and can originate or be found anywhere. What are the benefits of actually having a geographical indication system? I'll discuss 3. 1, there's a marketing value to it. Because people know that the product comes from a particular region and they know it has been certified, they're more willing to buy it. Secondly, there's traditional knowledge that is being passed from generation to generation in the use of that agricultural product. Hence, it preserves heritage and nationalism within a particular pride or a nation. Thirdly, it has got so much economic value towards an area. Because an agricultural product emanates from a particular region, hence people are more willing to actually buy from it, and it means there's more development in terms of infrastructure as well as employment and also tourism. Many people visit France and they want to see where champagne is made, and many people could also come here in South Africa and want to see where rooibos is made. What international agreements actually discuss geographical indications? They are TRIPS, Paris Convention, Lisbon Agreement, as well as the Madrid Agreement. In examining the protection of agricultural products using geographical indications, we're going to look at 2 particular countries, that is South Africa and Ethiopia. The agricultural products we're going to look at are rooibos as well as coffee. Ethiopia is one of the biggest producers in the world of coffee. Research actually shows that more than 25% of the country's GNP emanates from coffee, and more than 25% of the people in the country, both urban and rural, are all in the coffee industry. The most famous sought-after coffees are Sidamo, Hara, and Yijek Chief. They are all registered as collective marks under the Trademark Registration and Protection Proclamation. The trademarks are registered and owned by the Ethiopian government. Ethiopia could have opted to register the 3 brands of coffee as a geographical indication. However, they could not do so because of financial costs that arise from setting up a certification system. The cost of setting up a GI system would have included identifying all the coffee farmers, creating and monitoring internal certification standards. Certain entities and individuals would have to be trained in how GI system works. Instead, the country chose to use its financial resources to develop the actual agricultural product, that is coffee, and its branding with distributors. Another hurdle Ethiopia would have to overcome in registering the GI is that the coffee product would have to be produced in a specific area in the country in order to indicate its regional origin. Therefore, they opted out to the trademark system.
Joining the ranks of high-end products like champagne, the European Commission has included it in its Register of Protected Designations of Origin and Protected Geographical Indications. This means it can only be labeled rooibos if produced in specific parts of the Western Cape and Northern Cape provinces. ENCA's Monique Motlok takes a closer look at what this means for the versatile brew.
France has champagne. Italy has Prosecco. What does South Africa have? Rooibos. The iconic tea now enjoys the same protection as these products. It's also the only African food to receive the status of protected designation of origin in the European Commission's register. This status is important for legitimate producers of rooibos.
This protection of the name is really protecting us, so somebody can't go and produce the product less expensively or somewhere else and sell it and harm the South African industry.
In South Africa, our very own rooibos is protected under the Geographical Indication system, as been stated. There is no explicit legislation that deals with GIs, but protection is still afforded through various legislation. The South African Department of Trade and Industry issued a notice to declare rooibos a prohibited mark in South Africa, and this was done through the Merchandise Act. Section 15 of the Act gives the Minister of Trade and Industry the powers to prohibit the use of a mark in connection with trade. Therefore, South Africa uses this to protect rooibos as an agricultural product. So, we've actually seen that there are problems in the protection of agricultural products using geographical indications, especially here in Africa. I'm mostly going to discuss two of those problems. One, lack of funding. Two, inadequate remuneration to the producers of the agricultural products. One, lack of funding. The biggest problem that is facing the African continent when it comes to geographical indications is the fact that there is lack of financial resources to establish proper systems. Ethiopia chose to protect their coffee through trademarks because they could not comprehensively fulfill all the requirements under a sui generis geographical indication system. 2. Inadequate remuneration to the producers of the agricultural products. In Ethiopia, many of the farmers wanted to give up on actually producing coffee because it wasn't financially benefiting them in any way. That was before the government intervened and came in and assisted them, as well as many international stakeholders, in actually getting adequate remuneration that they got. In South Africa, many of the traditional people who started planting the rooibos system only started benefiting from it after there was an agreement between the San and Kwekwe, which is called the San and Kwekwe Benefit Sharing Agreement.
The rooibos industry has been signed just outside Cape Town.
So through this agreement, the Khoi and San people's indigenous knowledge of the rooibos plant is being recognized. A percentage of all commercial sales are to be put into trusts for their benefit. Let's take a look.
Rooibos is an indigenous plant species found only in the Cederberg region of the Western Cape. It is a South African staple and has been used in households for generations. Mainly consumed as tea, it has a plethora of other uses, including cosmetic products. Its health benefits have been studied and documented. But it's a plant that has been part of indigenous knowledge of the first peoples for centuries. The benefit sharing agreement is the first of its kind in the world.
So, this video has discussed what exactly are geographical indications, the protection that is given to agricultural products here in Africa, the issues that have arisen in the protection of those agricultural products, as well as what Africa could do to enhance and protect its own products. Surely there's much more that Africa could do with adequate funding as well as assistance from the international community. So next time, when you actually drink rooibos, champagne, tequila, you exactly know where they come from and their marketing value. And I hope you enjoyed watching the video.